This battle is no ordinary fight. If we fall here, we lose everything. Our land, our honor, our future. But this is not the end.
Which is why we need you. You're to help keep Mrs. Leclerc protected during the meeting at Blackwater.
No matter what awaits us, I will stand beside you, and together we will fight until my last breath.
But I want to make sure once the shooting starts, all of them end up dead.
Well, there is a business matter that we need to discuss.
In the dark and ruthless world of Marol, where mercy had no place, the brothers Adnan and Hisham had made a vow they could never break. Nothing will part us but death. This promise was essential for their survival in such a brutal world. One fateful dusk, the brothers decided to embark on a journey of revenge on behalf of a wronged woman, determined to avenge the murder of her husband at the hands of a notorious gang leader. Doubts clouded Hisham's mind. As he became lost in his thoughts, he suddenly collided with a farmer, and both he and the farmer tumbled off their horses. With unrestrained anger, Adnan drew his rifle and without a hint of hesitation, shot the farmer in cold blood. For them, killing had become a mere means of survival. They continued on their path in a heavy silence. The sun set slowly, leaving behind a blood-red sky and an eerie silence, foreshadowing the arrival of a haunting night. Hours passed, and the sun sank completely, leaving behind a sky blanketed in darkness. Only the faint glow of the moon lit their way. Eventually, they reached the isolated dwelling where the grieving woman awaited them.
I'm so glad you came. Thank you.
Seems your efforts have not been entirely in vain, but have produced some rather surprising results. Well, not surprising, but...
Confusing. After castigating me as a widow, a harlot, a fool, a mad woman, anything and everything. Suddenly, shortly after we killed his brother-in-law, Amos Lansing wants to talk. He sent word via an intermediary.
Mr. Jones.
Even that crazy old fool said not to trust any of it.
Which is why we need you. You're to help keep Mrs. Leclerc protected during the meeting at Blackwater.
I shouldn't imagine they would kill us in broad daylight, but you never know. I never imagined they'd kill my husband, nor turn me into a fugitive. Anyway, friends, shall we go? Today may go any number of ways, but I want to make sure once the shooting starts, all of them end up dead.
One of you drive the wagon, the other keep guard.
Thank you. All of you. This means... well, it means something. I don't know exactly what yet, but...
I don't think any of us think Mr. Lansing has become a saint, madam, but perhaps we should hear him out.
Perhaps.
Once their conversation ended, They all agreed on the course of vengeance. Together, they set off to hunt down the killer, who was hiding in a distant village.
I do confess, this is a most strange appointment.
Like I said, I would be much more comfortable going as your emissary, ma'am.
And I said I wanted to hear what he had to say. To look him in the eye when he was saying it.
Is that all you want?
Let's just see. When we get there, you decent folk can stay by my side. Or you can look over the meeting from some vantage point. Remember, this is not just the man who killed my husband. He, his wife, and Jeremiah Shaw all had a hand in putting you away. And setting you up for the gallows, too. With that in mind, I hope you trust me to act in all our interests here.
Think of your self-interest too, ma'am. Your safety. I'm sure we're all concerned with that.
Oh, Mr. Hawley, I'll be fine. We all shall. It's them who won't, should things head that way.
As they drew closer to their destination, Adnan and Hisham exchanged silent glances filled with determination and courage.
Over here.
As if saying without words, "Don't be afraid, I am by your side."
So the meeting is this way.
Middle of town, of course. Very good, Mr. Lansing. Tells everyone he's the boss now. Keeps me from acting too crazy.
You can hide up on the roofs or stay down here. Just make sure we don't get killed.
Just make sure if we do get killed, everyone dies.
No, just make sure we aren't killed.
Under the blazing sun, the two brothers stood atop the building, watching with sharp anticipation. Below, the crowd gathered, and a tense silence filled the air, as if the earth itself held its breath, awaiting the spark. Their eyes gleamed with determination, waiting for that single moment, the moment that would ignite the battle.
Well, hello, darling.
Good to see you, Mr. Lansing.
You too. Jessica! How lovely to see you. Why, it's been
A long time? No, it hasn't. Not compared with all eternity.
Oh, Jessica, I miss Philip every day. It's awful what happened to him. Quite terrible, but you seem... My dear, you seem under the misapprehension that I had something to do with his demise.
You, your wife, or your business partner, at least one of you did, and your brother-in-law. But he's dead.
Well, he was a bad man. I'm glad he was killed.
Sure. It cleans up your mess, doesn't it?
You don't seem quite well, my dear.
I'm not. I am destroyed with grief.
Oh, of course. Yeah, life can be terrible, but... Well, there is a business matter that we need to discuss.
Oh, sure there is.
Well, you see, he and I had an agreement. In the event one of us died, the other took control of the business in exchange for a nominal sum.
You lie, sir.
You signed last year. The document lies with Mr. Shaw there. He also has your money, $500.
My husband's property was worth 100 times that. You thief! You murderous thief!
Madam Leclerc, I will ask you to watch your manners. I have good standing in this town.
Oh, you do you?
I am a man of impeccable morality.
Oh, well, then you have little to fear of death. You god-awful swine!
The battle erupted with ferocity, filling the sky with gunfire that sounded like a symphony of death, mingling with cries of pain and agony. Adnan and Hisham stood in the heart of this hell, like beasts from a dark age. Their faces dusty and their eyes blazing with an unquenchable thirst for blood. They fought with a savagery that knew no fear, charging forward without hesitation, as if they were part of the explosive violence itself. Their heartbeats syncing with the thunderous blasts. With each shot, enemies fell, and the ground turned into a chaotic sea of blood and ruin, as if ignited by an unstoppable volcano. The pounding of hearts quickened, and the screams grew louder, but the brothers did not falter. Their spirits were bound together in a relentless challenge, determined to see it through to the end, no matter the cost. In the chaos of battle, the deafening gunfire and blood-curdling screams faded from their minds as they realized they had lost each other. A heavy silence gripped them, and fear began creeping into their hearts. One thought haunted them both. Where is he? Has something happened? The fight was no longer just a battle against enemies. It had become a race against time to save each other. Bullets rained down like an unbreakable curse, yet each one drove forward, risking everything in a desperate search for the other. Finally, the brothers reunited amidst the raging battlefield, their eyes meeting and their hearts beating with the same resolve. After moments of worry and loss, they found their bond again. There was no time for joy, only for the hope of victory. Together, with unwavering determination, they fought with all their strength, as if the very earth trembled beneath their feet. The battle raged at its peak, but the brothers were stronger and more unyielding than ever, as if each of their strengths completed the other. In that moment, their victory was inevitable, and they would not stop until the battle was theirs. The battle was over, and a heavy silence fell as the sound of gunfire faded and the earth, once shaken by the ferocity of combat, calm. The enemies lay defeated, and the battlefield was littered with the fallen. But the brothers stood, covered in blood and dust, their hearts a mix of vengeance and relief. They exchanged a glance, and the smile that appeared on their faces was more than just a sign of victory. It was a testament to the fight they had fought for each other, a bond unbreakable by any circumstance. As the sun set behind the horizon, they realized the battle had ended. But the real war had only just begun. Everything around them had changed, and with it, so had their lives, forever.
They could be their undoing, Hawley.
Indeed.
Did Jeremiah Shaw send those men after us?
No, I believe they were working for Mr. Lansing. I'm pretty sure this feud ended when you put a bullet in him.
I'm pretty sure it's up to the grieving widow and the folk here who were condemned wrongfully to die. Just say when the feud is over, Mr. Hawley.
Quite right, man. Quite right. Of course. I was only...
Well, don't. When I want your advice, I shall ask for it. And I have not asked, have I?
You haven't.
Up there. Stop the wagon.
Hey there!
This is a good spot. Pull up. I'll take it from here. Here are the documents, madam. They were forged.
Of course they were forged.
Here.
I don't need to see them.
No, I don't suppose you do. Although
There's Grace Lansing, but she will have to wait. And also, we have to decide how we're gonna clear all our names and extricate ourselves from the mess we have uncovered.
Not sure the state authorities take too kindly to revenge killings, madam.
No, I'm sure they don't. But that's a problem for another day. Because right now, that little plot is over. And my husband has been avenged. My friends, my true friends. I owe you more than words can say. Thank you. And should our paths cross again, and, well, I'm sure they may. But right now, I need to make myself scarce. And I recommend that you all do your best not to get into too much additional trouble. That's your business. My poor husband, he deserves so much better than this, but this is what he got. This is what we all got. Drive on, Mr. Hawley.